So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing we're going to address is why lead capture? Well, the first thing is that we live in a technological age. People have a world of information at their fingertips and they use it to their advantage when they're making those buying decisions. Not only do you need to provide the content they're looking for, you need a way to collect their contact information so that you can turn them into paying customers. And that's where lead capture comes in. If you guys think about how you buy things, it's probably changed quite a bit since even 20 years ago. Speaking as a millennial, I can tell you right now that when I'm searching for something to buy, whether it's a car or a vacuum cleaner, the first thing I do is I go online and I start to research different options, in terms of a car, different dealerships, different makes, models, types. So when I find one I like, I'll go somewhere else and I'll start reading about what's good, what's bad about that car, what do people have to say about it, what type of car should I even drive, if I drive a lot of highway miles versus city miles, all those kinds of things, those questions, I go to the internet to answer. I'm not calling up my parents, I'm not going and talking to the dealer themselves. I'm looking for myself because I want to feel informed, and that's the way that a lot of people are now making their buying decisions these days. Like I said, even if it's something as simple as a vacuum cleaner or a dust buster, I'm going to go online and read reviews before I go to buy one. 20 years ago, what we did was, talk to parents, talk to friends, talk to family members, or even just pick a name out of the yellow pages. That's just not the way it is anymore. And so we have to adjust the way that we market so that we can reach people where they are instead of trying to bring them to us through luck or chance. One of the ways that you can do this, especially this is pretty specific to real estate, is to use doorway forms. Now, a doorway form is a form that it's a contact information form basically, and it pops up when a user attempts to access specific content on your website. The idea is that people will be so invested in accessing that content that they'll willingly fill out the form in order to continue. In real estate, a great place to include doorway forms is within your IDX listings. Visitors want to see available homes in your area, so requesting a bit of contact info in exchange for those listings is seen as a win-win. These forms can be optional or not, and by that I mean you can make it to where they can or cannot click out of the form and continue to look without filling it out. That's up to you. And they can pop up after one listing or several. You'll have to test out what works in your market and go from there. I can't give you the perfect recipe because everyone is different. But I will tell you that this is something that's becoming more and more common on real estate websites, is that as soon as I start to try to click through your listings, a form is going to pop up that asks me my name, my phone number, and my email address at the very least. Now, I will also say that listings aren't the only option for including those doorway forms. They can really go anywhere. If the content you're offering is of value to your visitors, they'll be willing to fill out a form to get it. So watch for those pages on your site that are getting the most traffic and consider adding one of these forms to gather leads. If someone goes to a page on your site, or if they tend to click through your site a certain amount, have a doorway form pop up that at least gives them the opportunity to give you their contact information so that you can collect it. Because if they're clicking around, let's say you want to do it after 5 clicks or 3 clicks, you know that they're at least invested enough to have moved through your website. So why not ask them if they'd like to give you their information so that you can contact them. The next option that we have are ebook landing pages. Now, these are a lot like doorway forms in that they give you the opportunity to collect leads by offering them interesting, relevant content in exchange for that contact information. However, instead of the form just appearing after a certain number of clicks, an ebook landing page is a page on your website that's specifically designed to give a visitor a preview of the content alongside a form that once they fill it out will give them access to that content. And in this particular situation, we're talking about an ebook. Now, obviously, the first step in creating ebook landing pages is to have an ebook to offer, right? So if you're writing your own, come up with a topic that answers some commonly asked questions. You can go through your email inbox. That's one way to come up with content that you can tell needs to be addressed, especially when it comes to inbound marketing, which is what we specialize here at Pipeline ROI. What you want to do is answer people's questions before they have the chance to ask them. That way, they see you as somebody that's professional, that knows what they need, and are more inclined to use you as their real estate agent because you clearly know what you're talking about and you have already anticipated their needs up to this point. So you can make a running list of questions that you get asked commonly, or you can go through your email inbox. Likely, if someone's emailing you a question and if you see that question a lot, you probably generally know what it is that you say back when people ask that. Write that out into an ebook. It doesn't have to be really long and it doesn't have to be Pulitzer Prize winning. All you need to do is have that information so that they can access it and that they want to access it. So once you've got your ebook ready to go, it's time to craft a landing page around it. A good landing page, whether it's for an ebook or anything else, is designed in a way that piques a person's interest in what you're offering to the point that they're willing to trade their contact information for it. It's just like the doorway forms. It has to be something that they want so that they're willing to trade you. I mean, that's essentially what it is. I'll trade you my name and number and email address for this ebook or for the ability to see listings. So like I said, you don't need a lot of frills. Just list out the topics the ebook covers, have a simple form, name, email, how soon they're looking to buy, sell, and go with it. Now, I would be remiss if I didn't mention that with our Pipeline ROI platform, which is designed around inbound marketing, you have access to several pre-written ebooks. So you guys don't even have to go through the trouble of writing them. We went ahead and wrote them for you, and they cover topics that we know that customers are interested in, from first-time homebuyer questions to FICO questions. We have all kinds of options. And we also have created the landing pages to go with them. And so what that means is you can simply click a few times with your mouse and you've got an ebook ready to be downloaded and a landing page to go with it. The next option that we have are for sale by owner listings. According to NAR, for sale by owner sales accounted for 8% of home sales in 2016. Now that may not sound like a lot, but if you're trying to get every lead possible, especially someone who is already an active seller, you'd do well to target this group as well. Basically, you've got them further along in the process, so why not try to convince them that they need a real estate agent, which they do. So make a conscious effort to seek them out. Look for yard signs, classified ads, Craigslist ads, social media posts, and then listings on sites like Zillow or forsalebyowner.com. Of course, you have to be careful how you contact them, guys. Obviously, you need to check and see if they're on a do not call list or anything like that. However, there are other ways, or there are ways to kind of gather those people's information and show your value to them. Again, that's what a lot of this is all about, or it's what it boils down to. So you can write blog posts about the value you offer sellers and how you help in the selling process, some common pitfalls of for sale by owner listings, etc. Then you can share those posts online everywhere you can, especially social media. I really cannot stress the importance of social media to you guys enough. Everyone is on Facebook, and that's very, very slightly an exaggeration, but it's the vast majority of the world is on Facebook, whether it's someone that's 17 years old or they're 77 years old. I know that I see people, you know, these 77, my grandparents who are nearly 80 have Facebooks, and they search for things and they look for things just like anyone else, and they see ads and all those things. Well, you can advertise on Facebook by paying for it, but you can also advertise on Facebook just by posting. Okay, it's such a crucial part of marketing these days. You really cannot afford to miss out. Now, the majority of for sale by owner listings, they said that they chose that route in an attempt to save money. If you can prove to them that your commission will be well worth it in terms of saved stress, a quicker sale, a smoother transaction, there's less risk, all of those things, you might just have a new client. And again, they're already further along in the process than just a lead. This is a lead that's ready to sell, that is selling their home. You're not even having to wait for them to get to that point. So essentially just offer something of value. You could do a CMA and determine if a price adjustment might be a good idea. You can make a list of all the ways you can market and maximize exposure for a listing. You might also include something about your experience in helping a for sale by owner seller in the past. Just show those clear examples of the value you bring to the table, because it's the most effective way of convincing someone to use your services. Another option you can do is do a home valuation. What's my home worth? A home valuation tool can be an extremely effective way to gather seller leads. Instead of turning to portals like Zillow and Trulia, which we know a lot of people are doing these days, this is a way that you can get someone that comes to your site to be able to find out directly from your site what their home could be worth. And the reason this is such a good way of gathering leads and contact information is that if someone's doing research into what their home is worth, there's a pretty good chance they're interested in selling. A free home valuation tool is a great way to provide your potential customers with the information they want directly on your site. The more info, the more, just general content that's on your site, and the more someone can move around within that site without having to leave to find it somewhere else, the higher likelihood there is that they're going to want to work with you. You want to keep your name in front of them. You want to make sure that you're answering their questions and that you're proving that you are a local real estate expert. An option for offering a home valuation tool is to include a page on your site that uses a third-party AVM, for example, the Freddie Mac House Price Index. Interested users just have to fill out the form and the AVM takes care of the rest. But if you prefer a more hands-on approach, you can offer a CMA that you personally put together for them after they supply you with the information that you need. And I will go ahead and say that it should be noted that, especially in terms of these third-party AVMs, they're not going to be perfectly accurate. But that's okay. The goal is to start a conversation with prospective sellers, not lock them into a price. So you'll want to use the information you gather to begin talking with them more about their home and the selling process, and then you can personally offer a more specific analysis and just really use that information and use this opportunity to talk to them. That's all that we need out of this. If the AVM returns their price and says that their home is worth $216,000 and you think it's really more or less, that's not the point. The point is that you're providing them with something that they're interested in, and you now have the opportunity and the information you need to begin that conversation and to continue to show them that you're a professional, that you have things to say, that you're knowledgeable, and that you're there to help them, not just try to take their money. And that's becoming more and more important in today's culture, is the feeling of personal service, and that it can be of great benefit to you guys because you're not probably necessarily a big chain. You're not someone that can't get to know them personally. So you guys need to use that and market that to your advantage. Make sure that you're talking directly with people and not just kind of throwing your name out there and throwing listings out into the wind and hoping that somebody's going to pay attention. The next thing you can do is to leverage your referrals. Oftentimes what we hear from people on our end for why they don't think they need to market their business is that their business is largely made up of referrals. And while that's great and it's a totally viable option and it's a great way to continue your business going, truly leveraging your referrals and truly using and getting everything out of them that you can and getting as many as you can isn't as simple as providing someone with great service and just hoping that they tell someone else, or maybe saying, you know, as they walk out the door and they've got the keys in their hand, make sure you tell your friends, you know, if they're looking for a home that they should come to me. People will often do that, especially if they've had a good experience. But there are better ways than just crossing your fingers and waiting for the phone to ring. So like I said, for many agents, referrals are the majority of their leads, and this might be the case for any one of you that are with us today. But the question is, are you really getting as many of those referrals as possible? You might actually be surprised at how many you're leaving behind. Now, the best way to get more referrals is just to ask for them. It really is that easy. The best time to ask for a referral, a review, or a testimonial is at the closing table. Why? Because when is anyone happier than they are right after finalizing this extensive process? So ask for a photo of them with their keys in hand for your own happy customer blog or social media post or blog post, but also be sure to request that they promote your business online. If you've got a Facebook business page, which you should, ask them to post a referral on there. If you have a spot on your website that's for referrals and testimonials, which you should, ask for something that you can post there. You can be very specific with people, especially if you've provided them with that great service and you've taken them through the process and they're happy with the service that they've received. You can say, I'd like something for my Facebook page, and it's not going to turn them off. They're not going to say no. They're going to want to help you because you've helped them. So don't feel afraid or too timid to do so. Just ask people directly. You can even start out with an agreement with them beforehand. Whenever they first become a client of yours and you're ready to start showing them homes, or you're ready to try to sell their home, you can say, here are the expectations that you can expect me to meet, and then in return, if you're happy with the service that I've provided, I'll expect you to then write a referral or a testimonial for me. A lot of times we don't tend to think of those online testimonials as referrals, but that's exactly what they are, especially when it comes to social media and things like that. Who do we have on our social media and our Facebook? It's our friends. What better way is there to refer someone to a business than by telling all 200, 400, 600 people? Have a lot of friends on Facebook a lot of times. There's no better way at this point in time to tell all of your friends to use a certain business than on Facebook. So make sure you're not taking online testimonials for granted. Those are referrals. Now, especially when it comes to writing something online, compiling someone's thoughts into a well-written piece is not always an easy task for the majority of people. A lot of us have a hard time writing. And because of this, it can be difficult to convince your average customer to write a testimonial for you online. But if you provide them with a list of prompts and questions, they might feel more confident and comfortable with a task they see as simply filling in the blanks. By listing out a few questions for your customers to answer, they feel less like they're writing and more like they're responding. We even do this here at Pipeline ROI. When we have a particularly successful customer and we're interested in having a testimonial from them, we don't just ask for a testimonial. We provide a few sample questions that they're more than welcome to answer. What brought you to us? Would you recommend us to a friend? What would you say was your favorite part of the experience of using Pipeline ROI? All of those things that, it allows someone kind of a jumping off point. Instead of them feeling like they have to come up with this great long list of things to say, and what do we even say? I don't know what to say, so let's just not do it. This way, like I said, it's like filling in the blanks. Oh, okay. What made me use this particular real estate agent? Oh, well, I saw their billboard on I-90 whatever, and decided to give them a call, or there was a blog post that got shared on my social media that was actually written by them, and they seemed like they knew what they were talking about, and so I wanted to talk to them, and lo and behold, I ended up becoming a customer of theirs. Whatever questions you ask, make sure that they're ones that you want answered, and again, make sure you're sharing those on Facebook and other social media and on your website. Next, we have paid options. I know that Zillow has really kind of become a four-letter word to many real estate agents, and I understand why. But there are plenty of agents who use it as one of their main lead sources and have seen some pretty impressive results. Whether you like Zillow and Trulia or not, the fact remains it's an option. Now, Zillow and Trulia both allow you to post for free, at least for now. However, there are significant benefits to their combined paid option, which is called Zillow Premier Agent. The first is exclusivity. On any seller listings you can post to the site, you'll be the only agent listed on that page. And that increases your chances, obviously, of getting the full commission. Secondly, you have a wider reach. You can advertise on local listings provided by non-Premier agents. So those people, which may be you right now, that a listing comes up and it's yours and you've got 4 different people on there listed as possible agents, you don't want that. But if you go ahead and pay, you can be one of those annoying other agents and all the agents are like, why is this person's picture coming up on my listing? You can be that guy. So the price, as far as Premier Agent goes, depends on 2 factors. One is the zip code that you're featured in, and the other is the number of times your ad is viewed, or the impressions that it makes, which is called CPM in marketing talk, cost per impression. Kind of a weird way to put that, but your zip code will determine the specific cost per impression. So basically, the cost for an agent in small town USA is going to be much lower than that for an agent located in Beverly Hills. It's pretty much common sense. They wouldn't want to charge someone as much when they're selling homes that the median price is $150,000 when someone that's, like I said, in Beverly Hills that are selling multi-million-dollar homes, it's not that ad is not worth the same to you or to Zillow. And so you'll have to look into and specifically price out your options and how much it would cost for you to be a Premier Agent. Next, we have Google Ads. Using Google Ads is nothing new to most real estate pros. They're a great way to bring traffic to your website and to gain more exposure in your local community, but there are right and wrong ways to design them. So the question is, are your ads as efficient as they could be? For your ads to be the most effective, you'll want to make sure they link to pages on your website that have lead capture on them. If you're just taking them to your home page and your home page doesn't have a form on it, even if it does, there's no reason to fill out that form, really. You're wasting a visit unless they are so compelled to continue clicking through your site. You've wasted money at that point. So you'll want to craft ads that don't link to your home page or just certain listings. You want them to link to a page that has content that people want to access, like we talked about earlier, whether it's an ebook landing page or some other form of helpful content. Just make sure it has lead capture, which is a form. Google AdWords is priced out in a pay-per-click model, otherwise known as PPC. That one actually makes more sense than CPM. Different keywords cost different amounts per click, and those prices tend to fluctuate based on location. Again, an ad for listings or for an agent in Beverly Hills is worth so much more than an ad for someone in Clinton, Oklahoma. It just again, you're going to have to go price that out for yourself on an individual basis and on a keyword basis. So whenever you are ready to begin planning and pricing out your keywords and the ads that are going to go with them, check out Google's keyword planner. You can Google that and it'll pull it up for you. It allows you to see not only it allows you to see what's trending in your area. You can look at different things. This is not where you price it out, but it'll allow you to know what keywords you're going to want to price out. If there's just some little niche something in your town and someone's looking up how they can live in this specific area by this specific park in this specific neighborhood, and that's a keyword that people are searching for, you'll want to make sure you take advantage of that. So like I said, it allows you to see what's trending in your area and make sure that your content is relevant to what people are actually searching for. Yes, you can just buy keywords that are real estate agent and all those generic terms, but this allows you to see more specifically in your area what it is that people are looking for. So we've kind of reached our conclusion, which is that when it comes to lead generation and lead capture, the main goal, and really the main goal with inbound marketing as a whole, is to offer something of value to your website visitors in exchange for their contact information. By including simple forms on the pages people visit, you can gather leads without even lifting a finger. Then, by advertising those pages across your social media and through paid ads, you can expand your influence and reputation within your local community. Combine that with capitalizing on your opportunities for referrals and reaching out to FSBO listings, and you've got a recipe for success. Essentially, bringing in more leads in today's kind of digital world is all about showing them before they've talked to you that you know what you're talking about and that you are there to help them and not just take their money. I know I said that earlier, but it's so important now, especially as more millennial home buyers are coming into the market. You being helpful and knowledgeable is so much more important than just slapping up some flyers and just trying to get people to use you for the sake of you saying that they should. This shows them why they should, especially whenever it comes to those referrals and testimonials. They're not going to believe you saying you're the best agent in town, but if 3 of their friends say so, it must be true. Okay, so make sure that you guys are taking advantage of every opportunity that you have. Take advantage of every lead opportunity that you have, whether it's those for sale by owner listings that there aren't just a terrible amount of, and thank goodness. Anything like that, just make sure that what you're doing is as efficient as it possibly could be. So with that being said...
Hey, Jordan, sorry, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, hey guys, I just wanted to jump on here really quick as we were about to end. This is Hunter Meek, kind of run most of our marketing stuff here. But I wanted to just jump in real quick and say something to kind of wrap up. So I threw up a little poll earlier in this webinar. Jordan, I don't know if you even saw it, but asking, how many people, how many of our attendees here have forms required before somebody views like listings on their site. And nobody said yes. and that's not super uncommon, but I just wanted to tell you guys, like, obviously you have some interest in generating more leads, and that's why you're here, but there's kind of this common misconception, I think, that people are sort of almost not scared, but they don't want to ask people. They don't want to bother people by asking them for their information. They think, well, no, I don't want I don't want to pop up a form asking somebody for their contact information and them, be offended or annoyed or whatever and leave the site. And it's not that that's not a possibility. But going back to what you were saying, Jordan, if you are offering that value, people will fill that out, and a lot of people, for instance, sometimes somebody will, one of our customers after a year or so decides that they're not going to renew for another year, and we're talking about why not, and they, so often it seems like they say, well, I didn't get enough leads, and we'll talk to them and go in and look at, well, did you have your ebook landing pages set up, and were you sending people to those pages? Did you have forms popping up as people landed on your site and were looking for listings? Like, it just reminds me of my first, so my first job out of college, I was working for a commercial real estate company, and the managing broker there, and I forget what context this was in. I think he was just talking to me about, he said he was going to give me some advice, and he said, I'm going to give you three ways to be able to get what you want. And I'm thinking he's about to give me some, three really specific, intricate, sage, wise advice. And he says, number one is ask. I'm like, well, yeah, okay, that's obvious. That's kind of simple. And then he said, number two, ask again. And then he said, number three, ask again. And that may be oversimplifying it, but it makes sense, right? And no one's going to just voluntarily go out of their way to go find some form that's hidden on your site so that they can fill it out and submit it and give you their contact info. But if you pick the right times to ask them for it, oh, you want to see this information about this, market information about this certain neighborhood or whatever, do you mind giving us your name and email so we can send it to you or something like that? It's not offensive. It's not, and of course there will always be people that may be annoyed by it and leave, but they probably weren't going to be a lead for you anyway, right? And ultimately, if your goal with your website and these other things that we've talked about is to capture leads, you have to ask, and that's ultimately unavoidable, right? There will be people who visit your site and like what they see, and maybe they'll pick up the phone and call you directly. But more often than not, you're going to get somebody's information because you asked for it. And sorry, that was a really long explanation for all I wanted to say was make sure you don't take for granted that just having a website or just having information on your site means that you're going to get leads. You have to be proactive about capturing that information, and then beyond that, it's providing the value and the expertise and the information and advice and things that those people are looking for, and they will become clients of yours. So sorry for that super long-winded explanation, but I just wanted to get that in. And I'm gonna throw a link in the chat box down here for anybody if they want to go schedule like a demo with any of our salespeople to look at kind of how we do our ebook landing pages and how we do lead capture forms throughout our websites. And so I'll just put that in there if anybody wants to go check that out. And I will stop talking your ears off now. Jordan.
All right. Okay, so kind of like Hunter said, and moving forward from that, I'll talk to you guys a little bit about our platform just in case you are curious about what we have to offer. So here at Pipeline ROI, we specialize in providing real estate professionals with the tools they need to market their business all in one place and with one login. That includes a mobile-friendly SEO optimized website, social media tools, tons of pre-written content. Like I already mentioned earlier, we've got pre-written ebooks. We've also got pre-written content pages that answer a lot of commonly asked questions and go into depth as far as those are concerned. We've got those targeted landing pages, which is where people go to specifically fill out a form in order to access some form of content. We have email marketing capabilities within our promoter the promoter part of our website or our platform, which is basically email drip marketing. our salespeople will be more than happy to talk to you about that as well. It's a really cool tool that instead of you having to go to some other website and some other provider to send your emails, you can do it all from within our platform, and it can do it for you automatically. Like I said, this is a drip email marketing system. If you don't know what that means, go ahead, you can look it up. I'll tell you a little bit. It's basically lead nurturing, and what lead nurturing is that once you gather those leads like we talked about today, you have to make sure that you're continuing to get your name in front of them, and you're reminding them that you're there, and you're continuing to provide them with interesting, relevant content that they'll be interested in, or that they'll be interested in and want to read, and then see that again you're there to help them. This does that for you, and we have a ton of pre-written emails in there that you don't even have to touch. You can just send. There are powerful analytics that you can look at and see which pages on your site people are going to, what they're reading, how much, where they're coming from, all those types of things. And there's more to it than that. So with that, you'll be building your brand and growing your business in no time. And not only that, we supply you with tips and training along the way, so you don't have to feel like you're doing it all on your own. We have a YouTube channel. We have a support team that's here specifically to answer any and all questions that you have. We have a help site that's there for you 24/7 so that you can read and learn how to do specific things and why to do specific things. We've got a success guide that's there to walk you through the most important parts of your platform and how to set them up. And what's even better than all of that is that you don't actually have to break the bank to access all of these tools. As a thank you for registering today, I'd like to offer you a 20% discount on the setup costs for your brand new hand-coded website. So you would just simply call in at 866-300-1550 or email us at info@pipelineroi.com to request a demo, or you can see Hunter over there, like he said, posted a link to where you can request a demo. Make sure and mention whenever you talk to your sales rep that you joined us today, and they'll be more than happy to apply your discount when it comes time to buy. Thank you all again for joining us today. I hope that you picked up a few new ideas and are feeling inspired to start doing more than what you have been to collect more leads so that you can grow your business. You have so many different options and weapons at your disposal, and again, we would be more than happy to help you with those. So get out there, start collecting those leads and making that money. Thanks for coming, guys.